Well, good morning. This is the Knox County Commissioners for February 5th, 2025. We have a report from our Knox County Park District as update and should be able to do this in an hour and a half. You got all this news to do, but yeah, well,
Thank you very much.
and again, to introduce yourself so the people on
Absolutely.
TV will know.
Dave Whitehouse, Knox County Park District Director.
Brandon Trupford, Knox County Park District Natural Resource Manager, Naturalist.
Go ahead.
Great. Okay, so we'll start with the multi-use trail updates. I know we've been talking about it since I took the helm, but we are finally in the process of soliciting bids for the Cocosian Gap Trail repaving project that's being covered by a TAP grant. Cameron Keaton, the county engineer, is putting that out. It'll be a local let. I believe he's closing it down in March, and then the window for construction is May to September, with the understanding that the work will be completed end to end once they start. We're trying to have an open window to maybe solicit some more competitive bids. But once they start, we'd like them to finish. There's going to be some detours involved with this, regardless if they go end to end or in sections. One in Howard with a bridge closed could be a relatively significant detour, so we're trying to get ahead of that and plan on where we're going to post information physically and virtually to make sure that the through riders, primarily the through riders, are able to get through our section of the Ohio to Erie Trail without too many headaches.
So we talked about, are we repairing a bridge too?
There's a bridge on East Street up our Howard Danville Road. It's just past, I think that's Majors Road. So Cameron's working on that this summer as well, during this window that we have open for the gap trail work. So we'll take people on Majors around Cornish and then onto Howard Danville Road. So that'll be a relatively significant detour, but at least it keeps people off 36. That was our primary.
Yes, yeah. And then are we doing a grinding and then a repave?
That's correct. It's mill and fill, mill and repave from end to end. So from Mount Vernon Avenue to the Danville trailhead. So getting all of that done. We were able to finally deploy those data loggers on the multi-use trails from county line to county line, essentially. The furthest one out is right at the county line towards Licking, and then we have one at the Bridge of Dreams, so it's not quite all the way to Holmes County. We're actually up to 12 because we got the one at Midway in Centerburg up and running and transferred from Morpsey over to us. So it's been interesting to look at that data. Even with this extreme cold, we've had over 4,400 people on the path since January 1st. So those are good numbers to have as I apply for a grant to pay for the next bullet point, which are the maintenance issues on the Heart of Ohio Trail. It's been between 13 and 16 years since it was paved. There's some expansion cracking, some heaving cracking, and then the most significant issue is a failing culvert out east of Updike Road, which is going to involve a total tear out and rebuild. So we should be able to put a very large HDPE culvert in there instead of a box culvert. So it will just be expensive, not really expensive. So I'm in the process of applying for a recreational trails program maintenance grant that is administered through ODNR. Hopefully to get all of that taken care of, the firm work, the cracking, and that collapsing culvert. Nothing substantial to report on scenic rivers. It's always on our mind that we'd like to do some improvements on those landings. The finances and regulatory environment relative to those projects is challenging. So we're kind of keeping our eyes open for the paddling assistance grant to come back online. We're hoping that comes back this year through ODNR. That would allow us to at least take a crack at, a handful of those that need the most work. And happier news, the Park District is planning the official opening for the Woodlands on May 9th, 2026. The commissioners will all receive invitations before too terribly long.
That's all in play now?
Yes, yeah. So we have a small parking lot that we've developed primarily for maintenance and those in the know up Upper Gilcrest Road. So it's with the snow, it's not accessible now, but you could get in there. And there's a trail that's not hasn't been groomed, that it would allow you to go from Upper Gilcrest Road into the older growth part of the forest and hit that
Nice.
Eagle Scout Trail. So we haven't put signage up, but as soon as the snow breaks, we'll get the parking blocks and some split rail fence in there and start making that look nice. While we consider the much larger project off of Vernon View there across Arden Lane. So that'll be we requested partial funding for a 40 by 50 event shelter, which would be our first reservable space. It would be a free space, but you could reserve it for
Sure.
private events. And then a parking lot with ADA compliant parking pad that would be immediately adjacent to the event pavilion should we be able to pay for it. So that would be the first. That would be the only facility that the parks have at the parks that would be ADA compliant. So people with mobility issues could.
Again, how many acres is that?
165 was transferred from the state, and I'll jump ahead a bullet point. We worked with the Philander Chase Conservancy to acquire an additional 40 acres. So
200.
the 205-acre park. It was one where the property went up for auction. Philander Chase Conservancy was willing to bid on our behalf. So they will hold that. They will hold the title to that property until the park district can find probably Clean Ohio grant funding to purchase it back from them at
Nice.
cost. So we were really excited to get that. It kind of fills in a relatively narrow section of what we got from the state. So I think ecologically, recreationally,
That's great.
it's good all the way around for us.
So on Upper Gilcrest Road, you say there's an entry to this. Is it marked where that entry is?
You can see the parking lot from the street.
I mean, but is there a sign?
We don't have a sign
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay,
Not
'cause
yet.
I know I've been by there and I
Yeah.
kind of looked.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not sure if this is it or
Staff
not.
got that parking lot completed right before the snow came
Yeah,
in,
it's-
so.
And we have some grooming to do on those trails before we welcome everybody in. I'd like to get it looking a little bit nicer.
Mhm.
You could go in there, you're not gonna get lost, but you're gonna have to watch your step here and there too.
I
Well,
would say something, but I won't, because I have a family member who got lost in the woods.
I was getting ready to bounce on that lost thing too, because I know people go in off the Wolf Run there
Yes.
and they end up over on Gashaka Road.
Yeah, so we actually did, in 2025 at Wolf Run and Honey Run, which are the two parks where that happens with some frequency, we went in and put directional arrows on just about every sign that has an arrow in the word parking lot. So theoretically.
And what parking lot?
What's that?
What?
Yeah, which parking lot? So at Honey Run, it guides you towards the waterfall lot or the main lot, and Wolf Run, it just takes you back to Yaga Road.
He goes in there and turns those arrows in.
Yeah.
With each other.
A T25 driver bit to do that. We try to put them in there so they can't be removed.
So again, back to the parking lot on Upper Gilcrest Road, how many vehicles can park in there at one time?
I think once we get the parking blocks in, I'd say six vehicles. It's a long, narrow lot, but I think the way that it will work best is if people pull in and towards the short axis rather than the long axis. That'll allow space for somebody to back out and pull back out, but
Okay.
we observe and adapt.
Okay, because again, when you go up Gilcrest Road going north, there's like a tower in there too. That's not
Yep,
you guys.
That is not, no, the telecommunications property is our immediate neighbor. So if you were traveling down the hill, you'd pass that property and they've got a driveway and a gate, and it would
Yeah.
be right before the next mailbox is
I
our
know it where it is.
crushed limestone area. And like I said, we just want to get it a little more cleaned up before we invite everybody in. But some people, including members of my board, were anxious to get in there regardless of the trail conditions, so we made sure that was a possibility.
Yeah, well, we're excited about that. That's possible.
No, that property is very, very exciting to be able to get that open to the public, hopefully with some of these amenities that we really don't have anywhere else. This is more of a medium term goal, but looking at the grade there, I don't think it's impossible to suggest that we could get people in a wheelchair all the way to the edge of the old growth forest. So probably not around the forest, but I'd really like to get them over Center Run to at least be able to experience some of those trees.
Yeah.
The trees are amazing out there.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not in this scope of work, but we'll continue to look for partnerships to see what we can do. And we will have a band and refreshments at the May 9th opening, so.
Dora.
Band.
Yeah. We will have remarks for the first 45 minutes or so, and then we just are encouraging people, hopefully with the event shelter, to just spend the afternoon listening to 6 Miles from Nelly and wandering around in the forest. So,
Do you have a date set for that?
yeah, May 9th, 1 p.m. And you will all get invitations.
Oh, thank you.
Promise.
The 9th, the 9th.
The 9th.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry,
correct.
9th.
1 p.m. Moving along to programming and admin. The Knox County Park District Board of Commissioners have officially decided they would like to run a levy in November with your blessing. This would be my first time adjacent to that. So if any guidance you can provide me for how I should approach you, would be appreciated. The talk now is that they would like to do a renewal with an increase, which would take it from a 0.35 mil to a 0.75 mil. I can share figures with you for what that means relative to the assessed value, but looking at the diagram, if it was to go out to 1 mil, you would have to have a $400,000 house before it broke $100 a year. So we're trying to be cognizant of every penny that comes in from property taxes. So we're just trying to find that sweet spot where we can maintain what we have without having to apply for grants or come begging for the commissioners every time a culvert collapses. So I feel pretty strongly that if the levy goes up and the levy passes, it will get the park district where we need to be to manage what we have.
So you're thinking November, right?
Yes, we're thinking November. 2027 is when it has to run, but they decided, and I agree with them, that to try a year ahead so you have a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah.
But again, my role in that is very limited because I'm the director of the district, and really the commissioners and the friends of the parks are the ones who are going to advocate for that. I can provide objective numbers, and that's about it. And I'd be happy to share that spreadsheet with you if you're interested.
Sure. Well, at some point, yeah, you'll need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when that comes down, right, Penny, that'll have the amount that the levy would generate and all that in the language that the commissioners would
Yes.
have to adopt to let it go on the ballot.
Auditor will fill out that form
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I've been in touch with Sarah to get the spreadsheet, and I've shared it with my board, and they will make their final decision about whether this is gonna happen next Wednesday, and then at that point, I'll share this information with you. And I know nobody's crazy about property taxes. I'm not either, but you know, for what I give the parks in a year, I can't eat at Panera. So I feel like this is a reasonable thing to request.
Now, is that suggesting that Panera's a little pricey? Because you didn't say McDonald's.
Well, no, they're all about the same. I like to patronize all of our local fast food establishments, and it's generally $11 to $13 wherever you go.
Thank you for that clarification.
Gone are the days of the 99-cent a fast food meal.
Yeah, it's a shame. That's ultimately better for my health, but so the other administrative bits, I mentioned that the Park District Board of Commissioners meeting will be next Wednesday, February 11th at 11 a.m. and upstairs in the conference room, and you all are always welcome to drop in if you would like. The final bit of administrative info is that the Park District will be leaving the service center in the next week or so. We thank the commissioners and
We just
Jason.
talked about that this morning.
Yeah, well, you're providing us with an upgrade in space, which we very much appreciate. We'll be moving across the street to 104B High Street and setting up shop there for the foreseeable future.
Which allows all of your employees to be in the same building.
We can all be in the same building.
Now we'll see
No
when they
longer
really
in the
get
house.
along.
Yeah, no, we're,
One of you's no longer in the house out there.
well, Brandon will have a space there, but he'll maintain a remote location as well. But no, everybody's been very, very helpful in getting that space set up for us really quickly. Thank you. We do appreciate it.
When do you anticipate that you'll be totally in across the street?
We're gonna try to move almost everything that we can move next Thursday. And we've been in touch with Todd, and he's gonna help us with a few bits of furniture that we do want to take sometime in next week, the week after. We're gonna sort of run a skeleton furniture operation until March. We identified some furniture that was in the prosecutor's office that when they leave or when they remodel that area, we'd really like to just grab some of their secondhand stuff. So that's our plan, is to have a folding table or two until March. But we've got all the IT set up, so we have what we really need. And that is my quarterly report. If there are any
Yeah,
questions,
that's good. Good. Appreciate all that.
absolutely.
And we're excited about you going across the street. Okay, well, it's a, big upgrade for you guys, and ODNR is already over there in the same building, so.
We're really happy about it. It's, nobody loves moving, but we're moving in the right
I was gonna
direction.
say.
Down the street and up in the world.
Any questions?
Perfect. No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great, look forward to checking out the woodlands.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna wait to get it marked well, because I have been lost in the woods before.
So we're doing a sort of a slow, soft rolling open. I'm giving myself until May 9th because I know for a fact that we'll have it in very good shape by then.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you all.
There's a heat wave coming. You should
Sorry,
be
come
good.
in.
I'll tell you, when it got hit in the mid-20s the other day, I was like, this is great. I sort of reset what we think of this
You
whole.
get used to it.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You
Have a good
too.
weekend.
And he is Bethany right after.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we have Bethany. It's here from our Knox County Transit with an update, and also we do have exciting news that we did the bid opening on Tuesday, and we'll be awarding that bid today.
Oh,
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fast.
yeah, well, we
Yeah.
want to keep the transit people happy.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, can we move in now? It's good. Yeah. So I wanted to just give you a very brief update. I'm Bethany Somar. I'm the transit director. I was not able to make it in on my other update because I was drifted in. So there was one update that I wanted to make sure that I get in front of you and everyone about our routes. So in December, we analyzed how our stops were doing, how our routes were doing. And so it was kind of our 6-month review, and we wanted to make changes and kind of, utilize what we have the best way possible, basically. So we are rolling out some changes as of February 17th. So it's the day after President's Day, because we've got that off. Don't wait for a route on President's Day. We will not be picking you up. What we are doing, we are keeping our Round Hill route and our Coshocton Express. Those were both very, very strong routes, had high ridership. We are changing a few of the stops. We are changing, I think one of the bigger changes for all the routes is that we're changing the transfer location. Because there's going to be a lot of activity by the building, and that's not going to be a great place to be standing. So not really your ideal spot, right? So we have chosen, there's actually a bus shelter up on the corner of Howard Street and Gay Street. It's across from what used to be the Chamber of Commerce or the Wright Center, kind of across Gay Street there. So there is a shelter already up, which is great. And that's going to be where all of our routes are going to transfer. It's also a little bit easier to access from Coshocton Avenue than getting all the way across town. We want to make sure that we are timely, not only on time, but also able to cover as much ground as possible and not be waiting in traffic and lights and all of that. There's a lot of fun considerations when you're drafting a route. So the Coshocton Express remains mostly the same. We're still at Walmart and Kroger. We're not going to go to Dollar Tree. That was not a highly utilized stop. For Round Hill, the stops are going to be it's going to be fairly similar. We are going to be covering North Sandusky, though. We are going to be stopping at that town center, McDonald's, McShell, whatever you want to call it. So we are going to be stopping there. We're still stopping at Revive Church near Fallen Avenue. That's a very heavily used stop. We are going down McGivney Road, but not stopping along Hawthorne Apartments. And then we will be stopping at the pool to hopefully get more people who are in the Beach Street, Syker Road area. We have a lot of riders in the JJ Ashburn Apartments that are on Syker Road, and that wasn't a stop. So if we stop at Hiawatha Pool, they can walk to that. We're also hoping that's accessible to the senior village, Hiawatha Senior Village. And then that one then will transfer. So with that, we did analyze our Yellow Jacket Express that was on the west end and north was not utilized. It was very, very, very low ridership. So good for the west end people. I think they walk a lot, I guess. They just didn't ride with us. So we are eliminating that. And then we also had a secondary route that was going just to the health department and the hospital, which surprisingly, that was not utilized a lot
That's
either.
kind of a shocker.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one of our goals and what we work for is access to healthcare. We want to make sure people can get there. We can still take you to the hospital because we're on Coshocton Avenue. You would get on Coshocton Express and ask to be taken to the hospital,
Sure.
and we'll get you there. But we didn't have enough ridership to really designate a stop that we were stopping at every half hour. So that's just not how the writers utilized it. So the other big change is that we are going to be launching a route south of the river. We are going to incorporate that. We will be on Columbus Road and we will be at the industrial park. So we're going to try to get that. Yeah, we have a lot of ridership that goes to and from work. So we're hoping that that will kind of help us as we're coordinating that. You can get from the north end and then get to the south. So this is kind of, it's new and this is a new pilot of just seeing how much ridership we're gonna have to link into
I
downtown.
think that makes sense. Question for you, have you changed your price of admission for these people to ride?
No, they're still fare free.
They're free.
Fare free for another 6 months and then we will do another reevaluation of where we are. So I wanted
It's hard to
to.
believe that it's free and people. I'm thinking of selling my car.
Go for it. We would love to have you. Yes, yes. And especially with, you know, again, access to any
Yeah.
medical treatment and work. And, we're really working on removing that barrier and, sometimes old habits just die hard and it is a route. Sometimes you have to wait to transfer. And then with these routes, you will have to get on at a stop. We don't have enough time to deviate. So we just had too many riders.
Can you talk about your hours of operation again?
Absolutely. So full hours of operation, we start at 5 a.m. every day with our demand response. We do a lot of workforce trips. 5 to 7 is pretty much all workforce. We go all the way until 7 in the evening. So that covers most of the day. Our routes will start at 7 a.m. and they will end at 5 p.m. We do take an hour lunch break in between 11 and 12.
Sure.
And then we also still have our night bus running till 1 a.m., which is still very, very full.
Yeah.
So,
What all locations do you have the route information out?
yes, so we have it on our Facebook and our website. And then we are putting them on the buses as well to have information that people can grab.
So like, is there at Kroger's, is there a flyer like that a person standing at Kroger's would
right.
be able to see, you know?
No, there's not any of that. I have been to Kroger and Walmart to work with them to get signs up, even just a designated spot. It's difficult for them to do.
Well,
So-
they have a lot of stuff out
They've
there.
got a lot of stuff going on. So, no, I don't have a kiosk at those places. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any place that we do have a kiosk at. So that's always
Do
fun.
you have QR codes someplace that the person has their cell phone?
Yes, on the
Okay,
buses. And yeah, we'll just keep working on building the partnerships and seeing if we can get a sign. And then obviously you can have that QR code if we've got the signs up. So.
And I am curious, on Facebook, there was a post saying that people were imitating the transit and trying to pick up people. To me, that,
Are you serious?
You're so popular, Bill.
yeah, so what, what is happening there? I mean, people are actually pulling up in a car.
Question.
I didn't know that. You heard that?
We had reports from 3 different riders on 2 different days that somebody had pulled up at, it was at their residence, and it was at the time that their ride was booked with us. And they said, "I'm your ride, get in." We did have somebody actually get in a car and get taken to Walmart and pay fares, which is federal money, so federal funds out there. Yes. So all of our buses will be marked with Knox County Transit. They will be a bus. We only have, I believe, 2, maybe 3 buses that are still white. So those still say Knox Area Transit. Please don't get in a car that's not marked. I mean, luckily the people were all safe, but the other reports of the people that didn't get in said that it was creepy, quote unquote creepy. So I don't know what's happening. We have upgraded our security to our tablets. The only thing I can think of is that somehow access to our actual schedule was gained because they're showing up the right place. at
You
the
say
right
they
time.
have to have some type of access to your schedule
Right.
in order to do that.
Right. So we've done a few more security measures to ensure that that doesn't happen. I mean, I had heard that there's some similar stuff going on in Newark maybe as well. So I don't know if this is widespread. I have no idea. It seems very bizarre. I don't think 275 is a lot of money to be really risking the charges that you would get if you get caught. And I mean, hey, if people want to help, they can always apply to drive. And, we can always work that way. So I don't know.
Get a real job.
Yeah, I'm more than happy. We've got the resources and we're already set up. So if you're gonna show up at the right place in the right time, you can just come work for me. So
Not go to prison.
not go to prison, right? Let's avoid that. So I don't know. It's
So
a
was
bizarre world.
was it like a van or was it?
We were told the one report was a black car.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
You
We will not be driving black cars. We don't drive cars at all. So, if you scheduled a different transportation, that might be them, but it's not us. We just wanted to make sure people knew that.
Yeah, so Jason, you want to talk a little bit about the facility and the bid and the time frame that we're hoping.
Well, I guess we don't really know yet. We'll work on contracts. You're gonna award the bid today, then it'll take, probably a couple weeks to get contracts in place with the vendor, and then we'll set up the schedule for a pre-construction meetings with them and kind of work through what their timelines are. That I think I think the bid had estimated 6 months. I don't know if that's fully realistic, but that's what the target is. So we'll see. I would say by the end of the year would be our goal. Yeah.
And have we heard from the city as to the time frame for them to repair?
I have not heard anything on that.
Okay.
No, on the front, yeah. Other than I hope they get it going, because we need to tie in some stuff on our project with that, so.
I don't even know, did they even plow down there?
I think they plowed the road, but I think the sidewalks are still, which we are still transferring there, so it's made it a little bit difficult because there's not really a place to stand except in the street.
Yeah.
So.
The engineer's
But that-
office flipped that fast from Tuesday to,
Yeah,
today. That's
the
fast.
bids, I mean, I don't think it took him a whole long time to go through to validate that the bids were correct, so, yeah. Yeah, so we're
you.
another step closer, I
Yes.
guess, is where we're at, yeah.
So what, 4 years?
Yeah, in 2020, we started, yeah.
That's
I think it's
Years.
better 4 years to
Yeah.
finish. It sounds like it won't take that.
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
I appreciate
Good
the
job.
update.
You did a great job leading us.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
All right.
All right, commissioners, we only have a couple things for you here. One that we just mentioned, we need to have you formally approve the bid award for the Knox County Business Center Transit Facility to Modern Builders in the amount of $2,574,508.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then we have approved the State of Ohio Office of Community Development, a request for draw number 2 for general administration, and this is for the Danville Park Improvement Project in the amount of $8,800.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
And then we just have an update to the resolution that was passed last year for delegating authority to the county administrator for certain administrative matters. And the main change to this was allowing for the approval of payment and claims. And this would just be in the event that 2 commissioners weren't available, that I could sign the county bill list to process for the auditor's office to release payments. And any of those in your absence. So if 2 of you were not available, that would be added. And that is allowable under ORC section 305.30. And this has been vetted through the county prosecutor and the state auditor, and we're good with all that.
Motion to approve.
Second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then you got your bill list, and then I think that is all that I've got for you today.
Well, we have a happy birthday to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
coming this Saturday.
Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Isn't it tradition that on your birthday you buy everybody lunch?
Yeah,
Yeah,
could be.
like in the hot, right?
Yeah.
And then next Tuesday, we have a guest that will be here. They'll be talking about 988, which is a new
Mhm.
state program that's not well known. And so I want everyone to be aware of that. On our radio line, they'll be talking about 988, and then in session, we will continue to talk about 988. So do your homework. Everyone study that. Barry, you have anything?
Fair board last night went well. Of course, they're starting to march forward to the fair. It will be up on them before you know it. They were very thankful for the commissioners, the 15,000 appropriated dollars for the new asphalt. It will be the triangle that we talked about and behind the fair board office. So it went well. It was a late evening, but it went well. So always glad to go out there with those folks.
Is the house down?
No, the house is, I have Sam Filkins, I scheduled with the fair board last night. They said anytime that Sam wants to arrange it, let them know. They're willing, they're ready and willing to have it come down. So,
And you might want to explain for those who may not know what house we're talking about.
for those fairgoers here in Knox County, when you pull in the main entrance about at the bottom of the hill, I would say, on the right-hand side, there is a older gray, looks like modular at one point, that the fairgrounds caregiver years ago used to stay in. And that's been abandoned for years now. And of course, is a bit of an eyesore now and not functional. So we're gonna have that torn down. There was a grant that they received to get that done through Sam Filkins. And then the commissioners will come up with some type of beautification in that area. Maybe a nice sign and a flagpole and maybe some landscaping. So it will add a little bit of curb appeal to the area once we're done out there. Although I think you hate to see it go because you guys use it to count money or something out there.
It was helpful for us, but
Yeah.
Well, why don't they use the 4-H center up there?
that's my understanding, that's where we're gonna be
Okay.
this year.
Because it would be better, I think, more off-site. Brenda, you have anything?
I don't.
Okay, well, everyone have a good weekend. I guess it's gonna get cold again. Yeah, story of our life. February is supposed to be cold for us. But anyway, everyone have a good weekend. We'll see you.